Howdy folks, welcome to part 7, and before we get started, I finished doing part 6 here, and I've been doing some troubleshooting, and I just wanted to catch you up with the stuff that I've done before we continue on, because I've got quite a few little changes that I had to do here. So I had to switch this one because it was set to 0 or whatever, so I had to switch that, and I had to actually set that when you find something. I need to actually set it to the value that we found. As this is as we are compiling our trail, and I also had to check on each one of these, just make sure that we're not going off the edge of these, because it could get to the edge, and so then it's trying to check one to the left. So yeah, I needed to add in those, and I also needed to add in, where did that go? I had to add in the trail position plus. Where did we have to put that in? Let me see here. I think we had to put in, where did that go? But yeah, we did. Where did I put that? Oh, I put in the -1. That's what it was. I had to put in a -1 here because it was going past the end of the thing, and I actually had to let me see, let's find our references, and where is our plus? Here we go. So yeah, down here I actually had to add in, here we go. So every time we do this, I actually had to add in that. But what happened is we went into, I basically added in some code here real quick. I'll show you. I added in this code to make it a string, so we're just going through all the X and Y in the search cells, and we're outputting them as numbers and writing them to the console. And so I imported that to our spreadsheet so I can see what's going on. And I mean, what? Right? I mean, we're starting here, and then we're going 3. There's no 2s. Somehow there's a 1 up here. There's no 2s. There's no 4. I don't know where all this stuff, how all these numbers came about. So I'm just going to have to look through all of this stuff. We've got some major logic error problems here, right? And yeah, so I'm gonna have to look through this, and I will we'll do our intro, and I'll see what I can figure it out, and then we'll continue on with episode 7. Okay, we are back, and I've got a bunch of changes that I got for the most part. I got this stuff for the most part working. So one of the things I did is I had to move this position counter back up to the very top. So basically what our code does now is, as we did last time, we went through this, and whenever this trail position is too high, it goes past the length, then we're going to recalculate. Or if it's just, so many, however many iterations we decided to give it before we recalculate. So anyway, it's going to do all that stuff. And one of the other things I had to do here was I had to ensure that the target was within the bounds. So I had to do a bunch of bounds checking. We were just, all over the place, because you get that problem because you're basically going to the edge of the array, but you're also checking, left, right, up, and down. And so you keep trying to check off the edge of the array every time, and, stuff like that. So you do have to watch that. It's one of the things that happens a lot when you're working with a cellular automaton or any kind of array with neighboring type things. So one of the other things I did here was I again did some bounds checking here when we're checking the neighbors. So first of all, we're just checking that, and then with each one, let me see, did I do that on? Yeah, so on each one, when we're going to the left, I'm making sure that it's not off the left edge. And basically we are only even bothering to look, we're only even bothering to look if it's all over there. So all of this code in here is dependent on, now if you remember, that was where if it's empty and it's not already filled in. So yeah, we did that, and then we're checking the bounds on each of these with each neighbor. So the right neighbor, the above neighbor, and it's actually, it's nice. You don't have to check all 4 bounds each time. You just need to check, you know, which one is which and that kind of thing. So, and I actually had to kind of duplicate this because I want to make sure that the one we're checking is within the bounds. But if I basically give it an extra border, then you end up with your whatchamacallit, your search kind of just peters out or whatever because it hits the edges and it screws the things up. So you do have to kind of check it twice. You have to check the original cell and then each of the neighbors to see if they're within the bounds. And so over here we had to, this was another stupid logic bug that I did, a logic error that I did, was I was increasing the trail length every single time we went to a new cell. Now remember, if you recall, when we were looking at each leaf, we have to, you know, we might have 3 of them or 4 of them or, you know, 20 of them with all the same value, you know, that are number 2 or number 5, you know, and then we're looking for the ones that we're going to set to number 6. I was increasing this every single time instead of doing that. So what I had to do was I had to set the trail length was up here, and we set the trail length to actually be the value of whatever it is this thing is, the cell that we're looking at, you know, and then add 1, obviously. So if we're on a number 2, then everything that we find that's valid as a neighbor is going to be number 3. So that's what that was. And so I had to bookmark all this stuff because I had to make so many little things. So I also did this, made it print out into the immediate window, into the output window, you know, all of our values. And so I had it do that, you know, I had it print out all these values so that I could look at what it was doing and what it was screwing up. So we actually did, and now you can see here, we actually got the path here. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you know, et cetera, and it's going all the way up to 20. And so it's actually working now to that point. And I believe we are, let me make sure that I didn't get anything else. Yeah, okay, I didn't get anything else. And this was the code for that, writing out that information into the console. So it's just going through the whole array, and if it's a block, then we do an X, otherwise we do the number. So anyway, I'm going to show you what it does now, and because that's all the changes I made. And so I've got it, see, now I've got it, each time it recalculates these, it's showing this, you know, where these trails are and stuff. So a couple of problems we have here. These things are somehow ending off the screen. So these things are not using the trail information correctly. And the other thing we're having here, the other problem we're having here is that we do need to make sure that these are actually starting on an empty space and not starting on a block. So that's something I think we should do first before we continue on, is we need to get these to spawn in a valid position. So why don't we first do that? So when we spawn our enemies, and where are we setting those up? We need to figure out, I think it is init enemies, yeah. Okay, so we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna go through and check. Let me see. We're gonna set up their strategies, and we're gonna check. We can do this. We're already iterating through this, so check to see if it's a valid position. If not, adjust by 1 until it is. Okay, we could do that, or we could just actually pick a random spot even. We could even do that. That might actually be a little bit easier. What if we go... Yeah, why don't we do that? We're going to go Boolean is valid equals false. And then we're going to go enemy X, and we're going to go I, whoops, equals random, where is our r.next? Whoops, why didn't it? r.next, and we're going to go a number 20. Let's go max size. Why don't we give it a border of, let's say, 5 Should we give it a border of 5 on each direction of the edge? Maybe 6 or 7. Let's do 8. Okay, max size minus 16 plus 8. So we're gonna, our minimum is gonna be 8, and then our maximum is gonna be, you know, that. So basically that's gonna give us a border of 8 on each side. We're gonna do the same thing with Y, and then we're gonna check to see, so we can even get rid of these. And go like this. And we're gonna go like this, and then we're going to check to see if it's a valid position. And so we're going to go if what is that going to be, block, and then we're going to go enemy x I comma enemy y I, and that's going to be not blocked because it's an open space, because it's actually blocked if it says block. And then we're going to go is valid equals true. And this reminds me, there's one more thing I got to show you before we continue. And so then the other thing we need to do is to go while not is valid, and we're going to put our while loop right here. So until this finds a valid spot, it's just going to keep picking a random spot. And so then it's going to place it in a random place. And this reminded me here, because there was one other thing that I had to do that there was total derp, was over here. So remember we did this, we put all this stuff, like my note. Yeah, we put all this stuff, this if then, and I just wanted to keep the code like really short. I didn't want this gigantic expanded out thing. And so I just put all of this on one line. But the thing is, when you do that, when you don't put these brackets, the if then only does the next thing, and then it just continues on with the code. So whether or not this was true, it would still do these every single time. So that was a huge logic error, and it was completely screwing that stuff up. So let me see, I think you can turn off all these bookmarks. So if you hit Control K twice, it will toggle a bookmark. And so we're going to turn off all these bookmarks. There we go. And we're going to see what happens when we start these guys in valid positions. And I also, we've obviously got more logic errors to deal with, because remember we had the stuff that was way outside the thing too. So we still have to figure out what they're doing. And let me see, I'm kind of wondering if enemy X, yeah, see, these are not relative. These are absolute positions right here. Remember? And this is moving it by a relative amount though. So if the position that it's trying to get to is like 40, this is going to just move it to by 40. So I think we need to take out that, and we'll see if that helps. So let's see what we've got now. See what we've got now. There we go. Okay, that was kind of weird. All right, so let's see what these are doing. It is setting, it looks like it's setting our targets in some fairly reasonable places. I'm just not seeing where the enemies are at all. Are you seeing the enemies anywhere? I'm not seeing them. I'm wondering if they're just hitting me. But let's check, and let's pause, and we'll see if we can find. Here, let's go like this. And enemy X. Whoops. See where the enemies are. Okay, they're all sitting at 0. And 0, 16. So why are all the rest of them at 0, 0? That's really weird, right? Is it just me? So the enemy trails are empty? Are all of them empty? Let's see. That one looks like it has a trail. That one's empty. And that one has a trail. Okay, so some of them are ending up with empty trails and they're not doing anything. So yeah, we might have to code some stuff that basically helps us visualize what we're even trying to do here, what the AI is trying to do. So I think I'm going to sit down and analyze this a little bit more and see what I can do. So yeah, let me do that and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I think in order to draw this stuff better, one of the things we need to do is we're going to make a list of colors for enemy colors. So we're going to go like this, enemy color equals new brushes, because I think it should be new brush, new brush. And can we go like, is this how you, I forget if this is how you do this. You go brushes dot, we're gonna go light goldenrod yellow, and then we're gonna go brushes dot light blue, and then we're gonna go, you see, brushes dot light gray. There's the gray, and then we're going to go brushes dot light pink. Okay, and so hopefully that will allow us to go like enemy color I, and that should allow us to, let's just test it real quick here. Yeah, good. That's going to allow us to see the trails. Now see, our trails are going through things. They shouldn't be capable of doing that. So I've still got plenty of logic errors going on here. And the other thing I need to do is I still need to find out where the enemies are even going and why they're going, where they're going, and all that stuff. But yeah, I just wanted to add that in. We're going to move this up to where all of our other stuff is. And we're actually going to end up expanding that list, make it up to probably 16 or something like that. But I just want to get this, we'll just get it working with 4 of them for the moment. And that's going to be over here. Okay. So yeah, we're going to do, I'm going to figure out what else I need to do. This episode is probably going to be chopped up quite a bit with these little, figuring out little things at a time. So I will be back in just a second. Okay, here's one thing. So I started it up and decided to stop it here to see why the enemy is moving. So we've got enemy trail position I is 0. But if you look at the enemy trail X for number 0, we've got all this stuff, but you notice what we have here at the beginning is a 0. So I'm looking at this and we set this to be 0, but the first time we do anything with this, we increment it before we put the stuff into our array. So here's something we need to do, is we need to take this and we need to move it this way. And so let's see if this will help with getting them to not be all in our face. So we are getting, see, the interesting thing is we are getting these spots here. But yeah, so I'm still gonna have to figure out why they are all over. Let me see, if I assume that's where they are. Let's go check it out. See where they are, where the enemies are sitting. And no, they're not. They're not now. And let's see what their enemy trails look like. Okay, so see, they've got a bunch of things here. What's interesting is I'm not seeing any of those on the, yeah, see, they are going all over the board. I'm not seeing those, they're not looking that long. Like if you look at them on here, they're only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a few, they're only a few dots long. I'm not figuring out why when we draw these out. Let's see what we're doing here. We are going Yeah, because we're drawing out the whole thing. So I'm not sure why it is doing that. See, enemy trail position. You know what? That's why, because the trail position is where they're starting. Is there an enemy trail length? What is it? Enemy trail. Where is that? Because when we populate that, let's see what happens when we populate this thing. Trail length. So do we never actually get to, you know what happens is if it gets past where it's found? Yeah, so we need to keep this number. Okay. So let's do that. Let's go let me see, we need to declare that somewhere, but we're going to go enemy trail length I equals trail length. Okay, I know we can replace, we can just make that into an array and move the, and that might actually be easier. Kind of thinking, yeah, why don't we do that instead of all this mess? We just need to make sure we find all instances of this. So let's find all references. No? To what? Find all references. Okay. Trail length. Yeah, so we got a bunch of references to this thing. We're going to have to go trail length. We're going to go find, and we're going to do a replace. Where is find and replace? There we go. Quick find, quick replace. Trail length, we're going to go, whoops, I. There we go. And is that right? I'm pretty sure that's right. Let's just make sure. So yeah, see, there's a max trail length. We need to make sure that we're not doing that one. Okay, so we're just going to go like this. We're going to select this whole function here. There we go. And then we're going to go in selection. Where'd that go? Current block? Yeah, current block. There we go. Okay, and then we're going to replace all. Oh, I guess we'll check them. Right. Okay, and is that... Yeah, there we go. Okay. So let me see. Trail length. Int trail length. No, we're going to go like this. Trail length I. And then we're going to go up to here. Where is that? Yeah. It's up here. We're going to go int trail length equals equals new. Oh, you know what? We don't want to do that. We want to put that up here because we're going to have that. That's going to go with the max enemies. So we'll go like this. Trail length. That equals new int max enemies. Get rid of that. Okay. So now we've got that, and we should have a trail length for each one. Now, why exactly was it we were doing that? We wanted to keep that persistent. And then we're going to go up to here. And then we're going to go if enemy trail position is greater than the trail length. Remember, up here? Yeah, trail length. Just do that. Okay. So that wasn't actually necessary to change, but yeah, I prefer that code. And so we're going to use this in our drawing. routine here. So we're going to go down to here, and then we're going to go trail length. Like that. Now we're going to see if we can get the whole trail. No. Max trail length -1. What happened with that? How did that suddenly not exist in the current context? Does it just, did I misspell that somewhere? Is that supposed to be a T? What is that? Max trail. Yeah, max trail length. Somehow. There we go. No? I know something got changed here. We had trail length and then I ended up putting that on it. There we go. Is that not for each one? So where is this defined? Let's find the definition of this. Peak definition. No? Let's go like this. Max trail length. Where did that go? Okay. So I basically eliminated that variable altogether. Is that what happened here? Trail length. I totally got lost as to what I was doing with that. Yeah, I think that's what we did was we got... No, there's right there. Okay. Oh, no, that's right. I need to go back to that. Current document. Yeah, if it's greater than max trail length -1. No, that's right. Yeah, because we don't want it to go beyond the edge of the array. Okay. So let's try this again. Let's see. Now we've got our path. Now you can see the path. Now we see the violence inherent in the system. I like how it's covering me up because it's drawing last. I need to get that stuff to draw first. So there's another thing we can fix. But it looks like the tracing is... See, this must be the one that's picking random locations. Okay, and I think they're like zooming really fast to get to me. So we need to not move them in this thing. Or maybe just slow them down or something like that. Okay. Let's get our drawing to... let's get our drawing so that our player is the last thing drawn. That's the maze. Where's the player? That's me. Okay. So we're going to do this. And we're going to go like that. We're going to draw the player. Okay. So let's try this again. See if we can see. Whoops. What? So how did that suddenly... Something was out of bounds. Enemy color 2, enemy trail X. Let's see what our values are for I and J2. And 40. Okay, J is 40, and that's not a valid. So somehow we ended up with... Okay, so how is J40 when our trail length for number 2 is, wow, it's 75? Okay, that's a problem. That's a slight problem. Okay, so apparently we don't have a bounds check on that when our trail length is exceeding... See, if our trail length is greater than or equal to 39, it should break out of this. It should break out of this. So why is it doing that? Not sure how it ended up at 75. Let's try this again and we'll see if are we gonna keep getting this problem now? Trail length 73. How is it suddenly doing this? How's it suddenly getting to 73? Because we've got it to where trail length I plus plus or trail length I is greater than max, because that is, let's see, where did our max trail length get set to? It's up here, right? It's 40. So how is it getting past that check then? I'm not sure how it's getting past our little check here. Let's see what's going on here. So that is 40. If that is greater than that, see our what is our number right now? What's our eyes? 2? Okay. Something ended up with a, yeah, I'm gonna look through this and find it, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, it seemed, I don't know what it's doing, but it seemed like it was it was just, there was something corrupted in that particular iteration. The other thing I need to do here is I need to make this so that we draw all our enemy stuff first. So we're gonna go like this, and we're gonna move the paths first, so that way we're not yeah, see, we're still getting this. Now we're getting it again. So what's weirding me out here is that, let me see where it is. It's in main loop. We come down here, right here, this line right here, if the trail length is ever greater than this, it should break. So I'm not sure how that's getting to 75. I tried stepping through it a few times and it was getting to 39 and stopping there. So I don't know, I don't understand how it's getting to be greater than 39. So let me see if trail length let me see if there's anything else. Let me see where, find all references. We can't find any references to this. Let's find all references here. Let's see if there's something. There's a new int. If that's greater than that, okay. Trail length equals 1. That's not setting it to 75. Equals, oh, you know what? Here we go. Trail length I equals that. Okay, so that's what's going on over here. We're ending up with a 75. And then it's not getting a path or something like that. That's where it's setting it to this value, to this 75. And then it's not able to, I'm guessing that it's when the things, you know what, I'll bet it's when they're surrounded by blocks or something like that, when they can't find a valid path, because it does all this stuff, right? And then it comes down to here, and then it goes if success flag, blah, blah, blah. And so I'm kind of thinking that that's the problem, is that it's when this not success flag, it set it to that, and then it doesn't come back here, and it never sets this to be, yeah, trail length equals 0. Okay, so that's what's going on. So I think we do need to, let's go trail, whoops. Let's go over to this else statement, because I think that's where we're running into problems here. So we're gonna go trail length I equals 0, and I think we're gonna move, I'm not sure, yeah, I think we should do this and then return. just so that we're not trying to move it. No, I don't want to return, because if that's like the first one, then it's going to return and not do the rest of these guys. So trail length I equals 0, because I just want to make this not happen, and then we can do enemy trail position equals 0, so then we could go, yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how to flag this so that it's only going to try to move the thing if it's got a valid thing to move it to. So because this is also going to execute every single time through. So if we go, I think we need to check that anyway. If enemy trail position is less than or equal to length I think we actually do need to do less than. There we go. So yeah, that's what we need to do here. So that way we ensure that in this case it doesn't try to move them, and actually if it also gets past the end of the thing, maybe that's where it was getting problems too, where they were all ending up at 0, 0 or whatever. So let's see what that does. The player is stuck right now, so let's try again. We're stuck again. There. So now they are trying to, yeah, look at that. They're chasing me down, aren't they? Check that out. Check that out. We might even be able to turn off these. Oh, that is pretty cool. And the red dude's just kind of wandering around, doesn't care. These guys are chasing me down pretty good, aren't they? I think we got something going here. Why don't we turn off the... yeah, they're... That's pretty cool. Okay, so we've got a lot of chaos in here. Oh yeah, that's great. Okay, we've got a lot of chaos in here. Why don't we turn off the trails now that we've got them working? Oh yeah, we can turn those off. We're just going to comment out. Let me see this part, and so yeah, that's pretty cool. And we should be able to now see. We can also turn off these. There. There. Okay. So we can turn that off, and now we can see what they're trying to do. And the other thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need it to inform. Ah! Right. We're going to need it to. Wow, they're in hot pursuit. They're doing a pretty good job now of chasing you down. Cool. So yeah, we're going to need to. If I hold the key down, yeah, okay. So we're going to need to have it pursue the player and check that is if it's colliding. So I think I even have a collision. Yep, check for collisions with background. Check for collisions with background. I know, yeah, there we go. Okay. So this is where they are moved. So we can just check for collisions there, and we can go if enemy x I equals what is the player's position? Let me see. What actually is the player's position? Let's find that. It's gonna be up here. Where did it go? Block, long, player X. Okay, so it's player X. Player X. And enemy Y equals player Y. So we're going to go enemy Y equals player Y. And then we're going to go, can we have it play a default beep or something? I know what's going to happen is it's going to just, we're going to do this and it's going to beep like 1 billion times, isn't it? Right? Let's see if I can find a, oh, I've got a browser window right here. See if we can find C# play sound. So let's go like this. How to play sound. No, I didn't want that. I just want a quick There we go. We can do that. Let's see if we can find. Okay, so I just need to do a wave file. Yeah, it looks like it's all ready to go. So I just need a ding. So let me find a ding and I will be right back. Okay, I actually had to look this up. I've never used the resource stuff in here. So we're gonna go do this. And I looked this up on Stack Overflow. I find the best answers are usually on stackoverflow.com. So we're going to go properties, resources, I think do that. Yeah. And then we're going to add audio. Is this parameter is not valid? Okay. So what does that mean? Do we need to do that audio? Is that okay? Let's see. Because I had selected the wave file in, yeah, there we go. Okay, so in Windows Explorer, I selected ding.wave. I did a copy in here, and then I just did a paste in here. And so it looks like, yeah, see, it's added here. So now the question is, yeah, okay, so it's going to go resources ding.wave. Okay, so do I now need to, let me see, select audio, persistence. So where is that? Is that here? Because it says something about select audio files and change persistence in properties. Is that this? Yeah, properties. I don't see a persistence in here. And it says embedded in red as X. Okay, we're going to go, it's saying to do this. Because see, I don't see a persistence on there. Let's see. Resource. Yeah, I'm not seeing any of this stuff. Properties. No, that's not doing it either. That's just the raw data. And yes. And we're going to go properties. Build action. No. Copy to output. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not positive about that stuff. I always use just files off the hard drive, so I was trying to do something new here. And so let me see, what does it say once you've done this? Now just write this code to play audio. It's going to go sound player equals. Okay, so let's try this. We'll see if we can do this. New properties resources connect. Is the namespace, and connect is the audio file name. Okay, so we're going to go system.media sound player equals new. I think it's going to be system, yeah, system media sound player, and then it's going to be the name of this, and that's going to be ding. Okay, it looks like that's going to be valid. Let's see if that's going to be valid. We'll see if it'll play a sound when we get collided with, or if it's just going to crash when it collides with us, right? Okay, we need to there we go. Okay, so the orange one is still stuck in there. Let's see. There we go. Nice. Cool. So we still got a few bugs. Okay, that's interesting. So the other thing we need to do, there's a couple things we need to do. One of them is if they are next to you and they have a move, then we're going to have it just do a special case on that, because when they get to a certain distance, they're going to stop because they're pathing or whatever, because of your, see, they're just trying to get ahead of you, that kind of thing. They're trying to cut you off and stuff. So yeah, we need to make a special thing so that if they get next to you. And the other thing is if they have a dead end type thing like this where they have nothing to do, we just need to assign them some random movement until their next thing is up, and then we've got to fix that too. So we've got a few more bugs to go, but as you can see, we've got some stuff improved. Definitely got some improvements here, and when you have, like, you know, a bunch more of these in here, they're going to be a little bit more challenging to deal with. But I think we're getting close to something that's somewhat playable, and then we're going to have a few more things to do. Like, we're going to make a routine that actually goes through and finds the rule sets that are going to be good for us. But anyway, that's going to be it for number 7, and yeah, we will see you guys in number 8. Later.